Bakelit. Kulturális riportműsor mindenről, ami nem fér rá egy bakelitre.
Hello everyone, I'm Dániel Debreczeni from Contact Radio, and this is the Bakelit's newest show. And I have Lior Lazarof here with me. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yes, so you're from Israel, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So you're a contemporary dancer, choreographer and dance educator, yeah? So, my first question would be, how did you first start to dance, or how did you meet with this world?
I think actually I have a nice story about it, because when I was around the ages of 6 to 12, I did so many things like ceramics and horse riding, and played soccer and basketball and so many things. And one time a good friend of mine told me to come with her to a dance class.
It was in Israel?
Yeah, okay. In Israel. And I went with her, and I don't know, I remember the feeling of the first class, like it was so strange for me from the other courses that I tried to take, because suddenly everyone is looking at the mirror, and it was so strange feeling for me. And somehow I stayed there and kept coming to these dance classes, and my friend didn't. So it's all thanks to her, I guess.
And which city did you grow up? First in Jerusalem? Or?
No. I grew up in a small village up on the hills, a very green area. It's called Kfar Vradim, the village of roses. If you try to translate it.
Nice name.
Yeah, and where I studied my whole childhood and youth, actually, until I was 18, is in Kibbutz Ga'aton, where is working the Kibbutz Contemporary Dance Company, which is a very known company in Israel mostly.
So that's where you started learning how to dance?
Yes, it's so the dance school is right next to it. We work together with it, and we learn repertoire already from very young age, and learn from the dancers of the company and from their teachers. So it's this kind of relationship.
Okay, so you started your studies in Israel, and you finished there as well. So it was a secondary school, or
this is
or higher education as well?
Yeah. Only until the age of 18. Yeah. Afterwards, there was also one track that I did 1 year that you do for professional dancers. So everyday training from 9 in the morning till 9 in the evening.
Still in Israel?
Yeah, still in the Kibbutz Ga'aton, in the same place. Just from afternoon classes, I started to take the whole day. And then afterwards, I had to go to serve the army, the Israeli army, for 2 years. 2 years?
Oh my God!
Yes, doing
for women as well. Oh yeah.
Doing something completely different. Luckily, my job in the army was like a normal job, so I could be there from 8 to 4 or from 8 to 2, and that way I could continue dancing in open classes in Tel Aviv.
I see.
So for 2 years I just danced in the afternoon, less professional, because I didn't really have the time to do it really. Yeah. So in the army I did computers and
so IT related stuff.
Yes. So something different period of my life.
But then you returned to dancing.
So after I finished 2 years in the army, I moved to Jerusalem and started to study in the Jerusalem Academy of Music and Dance. Studies for B Dance and for teaching certificate. And I started immediately in the second year, so I studied only 3 years.
So you skipped 1 year?
Yeah, because I did the training
program.
You
were too good.
Yeah, I was too good. No, just because I did 1 year of the professional program, it's like they count it for something. So for me it was good in that way, that I could finish a degree in 3 years. Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about those academic years. Who had the biggest impact on you? Who was your master there? You learned the most from?
Interesting. I guess I can say two people. The first one is really from the technique point of view. Is called the ballet master. He's called Alexander Alexandrov. And he's an amazing person who I think has this ability to really push you to your limits and just help you become the best you can for each one for himself. So in that way it was very good for me. I think it was also the first time that I could study with someone who is really has a specific technique. A lot of time when you take ballet class and contemporary class, even the teacher cannot really say what he's teaching. He's teaching his style, he's teaching something that feels right in his body, but Alexander was teaching Vaganova, and it was so nice finally to have like this structure you can find yourself into and follow the rules. The other person is called Netta Pulvermacher, which I think I was very close to her, like more than a professor-student kind of.
Mother and daughter we are talking about.
Not mother and daughter, but I don't know, it was some kind of
close
relationship of we could talk also afternoon, and if she needed something she can call me like 12 at night. And so I felt, I think in one way I was her right hand in whatever she needed. And so she was also my composition professor, and also she was the leader of the dance ensemble. So the academy has this group of dancers that we worked like a company, and she was the leader of it. So this is how we spend a lot of hours together, and at the same time outside of the academy I was also dancing in her project, and we were performing in Israel in festivals outside of the context of the studies.
Okay, so you talked about your mentor, so-called. She was your mentor.
Yeah, I think in some way, you can call her a mentor. Okay. Actually, I did call her like this.
So you mentioned this time you participated in some of her projects. Yeah, so you took part in festivals, and how did it start? So you were like a company.
I guess I was maybe I danced in a few of her works, and we performed mostly in Jerusalem, for example in Sky and Earth Festival and in Mazi House of Arts, performed solo works and also group works, and it was an interesting time. I think she's a very interesting person, and she has crazy ideas and crazy ways to make them happen. So
can you give me an example
for crazy something? Okay, so for one time we were working on a work, and she decided we need to use a song of Adele, Someone Like You.
Someone Like You. That's a good song.
You can put it later. And put on it words in Hebrew from a song about Jerusalem. So sing Hebrew words on Adele, and we were supposed to sing it while we were doing a headstand.
Oh my god.
So this was like we were laughing a lot in the rehearsals.
Yeah, that's important.
It was.
Okay, so when did you finish this academy?
I finished the academy last June, June 2016.
All right, and how did you come to Hungary, or when did you come to Hungary?
I came to Hungary on September.
This September?
Yeah.
Really? So it's a fresh thing?
Yeah, first thing. Actually, I came to Hungary because my boyfriend is studying in Hungary, medicine.
Really?
And after I finished school, I felt I'm free to do whatever I want, and I was ready to make this kind of change. I was interested in Europe or Eastern Europe, and
how do you like it so far?
I think it's interesting. It's not so easy but it's not as difficult as I could have imagined. I guess in the dance world, it somehow makes more sense because a lot of people in this scene, they speak English, but outside of the dance world, maybe it's a bit more difficult for non-Hungarians to get around.
Have you learned any Hungarian words?
Not so much.
Not so much. But you are on it, yeah? You're on it.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but it's... Yeah, I think I'm better at reading now. And I start to understand a bit now things that I hear people talk.
Okay. So if we talk about the world of contemporary dance and ballet, so what do you think are the main differences between, for example, your country and Hungary? If there is any, or is it the same? Or
I don't. I think it's an interesting question. For sure, it's completely different. But in this time that everyone is very much individual and creating his own thing, there are some people who I can find links between Hungarians to Israeli. I think in general, as people here in Hungary tend to tell me, oh, you move like all the Israelis, you all have the same kind of movement. And I think, also the Hungarians that have similar kind of movement they're attracted to or are more built inside their body. But I don't know, I think there are many things happening here and happening there. I think maybe in Israel I can say more because I know more. I'm not in Hungary for a long time. Is a lot of going towards the conceptual dance. So putting in focus more the concept behind the work, maybe blurring the lines between dance and performance. And in Hungary, I feel maybe it's still more dance, which is nice for me as well. Okay,
so besides that you're a contemporary dancer, you're also a choreographer as well. So you also learned this in the academy, yeah? How could you define your own style in choreography?
Okay, it's a difficult question.
Yes, it is.
I think I'm still trying to figure out myself. I mean, I'm 24. I just graduated from the academy a year ago. So I'm for me, it's a very good year to try to figure this out. I'm working on some project, and each project is completely different. Some are more conceptual, some are more physical, and I'm trying to find my way not only in establishing my relationship to movement, but relationship with how do I want to be with my dancers, and how do I want to make the work in the studio.
You mean your students?
No, my dancers that work with me.
Okay, all right.
In my works.
Okay.
I don't teach here, actually.
Teach. Okay.
Yes. So yeah, I think I do many things at the moment, and defining it's not necessary. I think also saying choreographer, maybe I feel it's a bit over my head. I feel that I compose movement in space, maybe, and I use the body.
You must like some styles or some colors, or
I do contemporary dance for sure.
Okay.
Now I'm starting to work on a new work that I can say that is leading maybe more to the performance, more performative and less dance, but still using the body from a dancer perspective. Yeah, I'm influenced by a lot. I can say I'm influenced at the same time by Hofe Schechter, that is working in London with a company, and he's very dancey, maybe reminding a bit of Batsheva, but at the same time very much influenced by Marina Abramovic and her work that is more performative. And I think mainly I'm trying to find myself in this dissonance.
You have a lot of time to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned that earlier you took part in various projects. Yeah. what are those projects you are the most proud of, or the best you were at?
My project, or
or it can be your project or a project you worked in.
I guess one project that I'm working on now is called I Saw a Fish in the River. It had some of you in it, and it's something that I started to work after I moved to Hungary. I started to work with Hungarian dancers. Sorry, he's not Hungarian, but he's living here a lot of years, Gregory, and we performed it also in Solo Duo Festival on January here in Budapest. This moment I'm working with 2 Hungarian dancers because I wanted to step out and only work as a choreographer, not as a dancer anymore, with Emese Kovács, which is also L1.
Yes.
Yeah. And also Timi Laza, also working with me. And I think for me it's this, relating to what I said before, it's a very important process of figuring out how I want to work in the studio with them, and how do I take out of them the best I can to make them the best, I don't know, the best feeling for them as dancers on stage, and having a good performative style for themselves. And at the same time, through them I have to show out what I want to give from my dance to the audience. So this relationship is very interesting for me at the moment, and I think it will be a very good work. We're really digging into the qualities of the movement. This, for example, is very much movement based. So we're very much exploring the body's ability to look fluid, and relating to the name of the dance, like creating kind of river in the space, and what happens when there are 2 rivers, and how do they meet, and if they can flow in the same way, what happens. And
okay, all right, sounds interesting. Okay. What does it mean to you to be a independent artist? Or independent artistic existence? What does it mean to you?
What does it mean to me? I guess for my personality it's very good. Since I was young, I like and I take care of myself with everything. I never like to ask for help, and if I need to make graphics, I make graphics for myself. If I need to make a promotional video, I study how to do it. I go and I take courses of Photoshop, of making videos, of everything. So at the one hand, it's, I think, somehow maybe easier for me than other people. On the other hand, when I do need help, it's not easy. Maybe not easy asking for it, but also not easy receiving it, because as independent creator, you have to manage everything by yourself. So sometimes there's this feeling that I'm my own secretary, and especially when I work on a few projects at the same time, so managing this visual artist and this musician for this work, and the dancers here and the dancers there, and realizing I have studios to rehearse everything and meetings, and it takes up most of the time. So maybe sometimes it's not easy leaving enough energy for the creative process itself.
Okay, so but you're not just an independent artist, but you're a resident at L1 Association. So how did you apply for this project or for this association?
So I saw an open call, I think through Facebook, for the L1 Association, and I was very much interested to figure out what it is. At that time I was dancing in the program of Jula Berger, the Zero Plus program. I was taking the somatic classes, and I knew he was a part of this association, so I was asking him more information about it. I was also talking to Valencia, that was before, I think, resident or part also, and I felt that this is something that can be very supportive for me, and not only as an artist, but just as a person who is new to this country. I felt that being a part of a group of artists can, just because I don't know here not only dancers but musicians to work with and so on, so it was very helpful. For example, now I work with one musician and one visual artist and one dancer, all from the association. So it was a very good way to connect with these people for me. And I applied. I guess this year it was the first time that they did open application. Until now, I heard that it was by invite, and this year it was you should have open application. So I applied, and I'm a resident.
And maybe you will be a member, yeah? So that's your future plan, no? To be a member?
I have no idea what Marta has in plan.
Okay. Okay, so you mentioned that you've already got some assistance from L1 Association. Yeah, you work with this musician and another artist, yeah? How do you think you can put back energy, ideas or support towards the association?
I think I have now a lot of time during the summer. Usually I live in Debreczeni, and for the summer I have an apartment here in Budapest. So first thing, I think I would offer myself more to maybe come to rehearsals and just offer my time as a starter. And second thing is coming up September there will be the L1 festival in which of course I plan to volunteer in whatever is needed there. So I guess mainly this. I think even though it's an association of artists, we're still maybe each one very much independent and finding his way. I wish there could be more connections even between each associate and each resident. Unfortunately, I missed the first meeting of the year of everyone because I was in Israel, and I think I will miss also the next one. But I do plan to make soon a presentation of my work in the studio for only the L1 Association to receive some information and to really meet, and I hope that maybe some new connections and relationship will come out of this meeting and showing.
Okay, so if you want to summarize, so let's say I'm an independent artist and I've been thinking of joining L1, so why should I join L1 Association?
First of all, I think it's like a safe net. For me, it feels like it to land in. I know that there are more people in my situation, and I know that there are people that if I will approach and I will need help from them, they will be more than happy to help me and assist me, each one in whatever he can do. So I guess it brings up a lot of options and possibilities for collaborations, and most of all, I think Marta is very helpful. For me, all the time I send her email, please explain to me what I need to write, maybe in technical writer, because really as a beginner in this world, there are things that no one taught me in the academy. Or if I do a performance in a venue, how do I approach it? What do they have to bring me? What do I have to bring? How do we make this agreement between us? So I guess in this bureaucracy way, it's very helpful that I have someone I can ask and he cares about helping me in this, and it doesn't feel like I'm making too much trouble.
Okay, all right. I have another question I'm really interested in. Who's your idol or a following example in the contemporary dance world? Is there such person?
I think not really. For example, I was talking before about maybe Hofer Schechter and about Marina Abramovic. Maybe they're the main figures of performances that I saw live or on video that really moved something in me. But in general, I like to be influenced by everything, and I recently saw a video online of this guy who is doing performance in the street. This is what he does in New York. And there is one video that he has many dolls under his shirt, and he's just asking the people around, is it okay if I give birth? And he just gives birth to these dolls, and I feel like you can have inspiration from everything. Everything is performance, and it just depends on how you decide to look on things and on life and on people. And sometimes a small improvisation performance in the studio can mean much more than a big company performing on a big stage for me. So at the moment I can't say I have an idol or someone specific I follow. Everything in life can lead you to creation and for inspiration.
Okay. You've already mentioned some of your ongoing projects. Where can the audience next see Lior's work or Lior's performing?
Next time I'm performing is in the Ziget Festival. I perform in the work of Lizel, Australian artist. She's coming to work with some Hungarian dancers. I'll be performing there every day in the Fidelio stage at 4 or 3. Check online. And afterwards I perform in the L1 Festival with my solo. It's called Sometimes I Pour. It's something that I started to work long time ago, around November, and it's been building up slowly, and now I'm working with also a visual artist and also another musician for this work, so it's still a little bit in process. I'm very excited about this work. It's also the first time I use my own text that I write, and that I really use it on stage as I talk, and in the visuals it's also taking part. So I think it's on the 27th of September, and later it's also performing on November in Prague in the New Europe Festival, in which L1 is also a part of this friend organization of this festival. Okay.
How do you see the future? Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
I think in 5 years' time, the first thing that is very important for me, that I want to go back to teaching. Since I moved to Hungary, I felt a bit difficult to teach, and I miss it very much. Also, I was teaching young and old, and I miss everything about it.
Really?
Yes.
You haven't talked about this,
Yes, I haven't talked about, but yeah, I miss it very much. So much more teaching. And I hope to find myself somehow a bit more maybe whole with my direction in choreography, but at the same time still with a lot of question and uncertainty that can lead to new things. So not anything specific.
Well, thank you very much that you accepted our invitation, and good luck with everything
Thank you
you
very
wished
much.
for. Thank you.
You.